push it there.
Fuck.
Alright, Rob, you're too quick. Facebook update.
And he did it just to deliberately attack me.
Isn't the point of the game?
Oh, sorry.
Good?
Get this shit out the way.
What?
Ready whenever you are.
Alright, turn my shit on silence.
How do I share? Found it.
Ready?
You ready? Before you start, we'll just get all three on the same time. Right? Three? You don't have to start right after this.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dirty Shore Underground Podcast. Review episode.
Bonus episodes.
Review bonus episode. I'll remember this one of these weeks. Fear the Walking Dead, episode 3.
They made us wait 2 weeks for it, but it was totally worth
Yes. There's a lot we could say about tonight.
Before we
Or
get
last
into it,
night.
make sure you go to DirtyShoreUnderground.com. Check out Dirty Shore UG on Facebook and Twitter so that you get updates. For those of you watching us live right now, this episode, like every episode, is streaming live. Now we're live on YouTube, so you can watch the video live, participate, ask questions as we're going through. Otherwise, you can check out the podcast every Tuesday for the bonus episodes, every Thursday for the regular episodes.
And it's a brand new YouTube link, so
Brand new links, make sure you check that out.
it'll be YouTube/C/Dirty Shore UC hyphen OTA.
There
I
you
had
go.
to think about it for a second. First time doing it, don't hate on me.
Alright, so wait, thank you for tuning in. We are, of course, talking about Fear the Walking Dead, Episode 3, The Dog. So if you haven't seen episodes 1 through 3, here's your spoiler alerts. There will be spoilers from here on out. Don't listen any farther unless you've caught up. So, this week finally became the show that I was hoping to see all along.
Yes.
So, starting off, what was your favorite?
Off the top of my head, not anything to do with the characters per se, but Saturday night we were chilling, we were talking about the blackouts.
Right.
We started to really see the grid go down last night.
Visually, too. 'Cause
Like,
he's
it
driving.
wasn't even just for like a minute or two at a time. As they were heading back towards the house, you just see everything slowly shutting down across LA.
Right.
And Karina was asking why that's happening, and I'm like, in a world of chaos, who's going to sit there and run everything?
Right, and it cascade fails. So anybody who's been in a major city during a blackout, that's actually really accurate. That's how it would go down. Like one group of blocks fails, and then the draw on the other blocks causes it to fail across the whole city. There's video shot from a satellite or from the space station of the New York blackout from 2008 or 9, whenever that was. Same thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
Big chunks would go black, and it would move across the way, blackout, till the whole East Coast was blacked out. So, good job to them, because they did that exactly right. So that was your favorite part, was just watching the blackout?
Outside characters, yes.
Right, so, character development.
Character development, Nick still annoys me. 3 weeks in, Nick still annoys me.
Everybody says that Nick annoys, and I gotta say, like, he's being a little bitch about the whole thing.
Especially, like, what was it, the end of the episode? He's like, I need my pills.
And you called it in episode 1 that the drug addiction was going to be his major factor.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, did you notice he's starting to look like a zombie? He's getting the pale skin, he's getting like that demeanor that just kind of, he's already got the limp, so he's like kind of stumbling.
But that's probably based off the fact that he's not getting as much drugs as his body used to be taking in, right? So.
Well, and I noticed that the one of the military guys asks his mom.
Let's not get that far.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
You see the look on his face when he's just like, is that all we got?
Right.
Because
that's the end of the episode. Too.
That's not the part I'm talking about.
We're talking about different parts of it. Speaking to the drug addiction by itself. Yeah, he looks at the bag and says, is that all we've got?
Like, he was really upset, and get used to it because the world's changing.
Well, and his mom told him before, you're going to dry out in the desert. This is to get you there, and then we'll let you have all of the sickness once we don't have to worry about running with you, basically.
Yep.
And that's what she did. She left all the rest of them for Griselda. Griselda.
I will give him this. He stepped up a little bit last night. He knew where to go to get a shotgun and shells.
Right. Yeah.
His mom was questioning why he knew that.
Because he tried to steal it. He said it right to her.
I know that.
But that's how.
But at first, she questioned why he knew that.
And that's because I tried to steal the stuff from him. And I thought for sure that we were going to see our first up-close, like, zombie encounter in the house. Because I'm like, it's too dark, it's too quiet. They walk in and they're like, Miss whatever. And I'm like, oh, she's coming. She's going to jump out of somewhere. And then didn't. And the lights came back on. It's like, oh, shit. Okay. But he did know where to go. We finally have a gun. What do we learn about from the gun, though, is that Daniel looks like he might be the Rick. We were trying to predict who Rick's going to be, but it looks like it's going to be Daniel, which is the Daniel Salazar, the barber.
Yeah.
Because he's in there telling Nick the difference between the two different types of shells, and trying to teach him how to use the gun. And
Somebody said he was who was the guy with the hat that did in the RV in the first and second season.
Shit, what is his name? I know you're talking about that. The guy who drove the RV.
Yep, him.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying that that's who he reminded him of.
I think there's two things that I would, three things I would point to. One is right before they leave, he's the one who's like, I'm older than all of you, but get out of the way. I'm going out first. And he like opens the door, try to lead him out. Very Rick-like. Trying to teach Nick how to use the gun. Very Rick-like. And then when he sees Mom up against the fence and Travis takes away the hammer, he makes that little comment under his breath like, weak. I think part of the gun in his hand.
He took it from him.
Oh, okay. He took it from from Nick.
It was the mother that had it, right?
It was Nick that had it.
Yeah. So he took the gun from Nick. So I mean, there's that too. I realized later in the episode that he just might be the only one who knows how to operate a gun at all. But Karina, you said you thought that he was going to be the Rick of the episode after that.
Yeah.
And were you saying Nick was going to be Rick earlier?
No, I said Nick was the little bitch and he needed to die.
And I think maybe
Kenny said, he gets on my nerves because, for the simple fact of, I've been around people with drug addiction and he fucking annoys me.
Right. Well, and he's dealing with his own personal shit. And one thing that I wanted to say that I read this week.
He's self-centered.
Well, something I read today was they're shooting The Walking Dead, or Fear the Walking Dead. The Walking Dead was all about big panoramas. It was lots of zombies. It was look at the city. But they're shooting this very much, it's all about the people. It's all up close. In that little exchange between Travis and his wife and the neighbor, there was no real like wide shots. It was zombie face, his face, her face, hammer, zombie face. And it's all really about these people getting through this thing. So I think that that's probably what annoys people, is that it's not so zombie focused. It's not the hordes, because there are no hordes.
If you think about it, though, Walking Dead isn't all that zombie focused.
Well, they do a lot of. One other problem is that it's more about the group and not about the individuals.
I have a question.
Yeah.
They said how far did they say Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead was apart?
It did.
Time length wise?
If you go right now, it's going to be 6 years difference.
Well, starting right now, but from the beginning of The Walking Dead.
I'm talking storyline, not season wise.
Alright, so it started probably anywhere between a month and 2 months.
Because you know what I noticed? You remember how in The Walking Dead when the husband and the son's wife died?
Yeah.
The mom.
Mm-hmm.
And you see her like stalk the house and look at the house and try the handle. And it looks like there's still a part of her still there.
Right.
You remember that part?
Yeah.
When he was standing in the barber shop and when the guy turned and looked at him in the window, you knew he was a zombie, but it looked like there was something still there mentally.
Well, I think that's what Travis was talking about with the neighbor, where it's like, he takes it, we know, because we've seen The Walking Dead, that these people are dead, that there's no hope for them. But imagine you're in a world where you've never seen a zombie movie, and it looks like your neighbor.
The word zombie never even existed in this
Right.
sort of stuff.
And so what she's doing is she's shuffling around her house. She comes out to the garden. She's doing her normal things. And apparently they were pretty close friends. So it would seem legitimate that she'd be like coming towards the wife. And I think that's the thing that we are getting from this, that we didn't get from The Walking Dead, is as that starts to happen, you get, what is the guy's name? Sniper rifle, black guy who now showed up again. Morgan. You're talking about Morgan's wife.
Yeah.
I think that Morgan has that insight that Rick doesn't have, and we just haven't seen him enough, that don't let them convince you that they're normal. They're not. They act some of the same things, they do some of the same things. There's another episode where they're in a gas station, and the guy's in the kitchen, and he's got, I think, either a pan or a spatula in his hand, and you think, like, that guy was the cook. And his zombified body is walking around with a spatula because that's what he did, you know, and he's there and he's normal, but don't let him fool you.
I think when they were at the CDC in season 1, the scientists even explained that.
Yeah.
Once they became the zombie, they reverted back to the very basic nature of anything, food.
Right.
But because their job was so in time,
that's what they keep doing.
They were stuck in that while looking for food.
So here's the other thing. It's a whole new perspective on the entire thing just because we didn't see them going through it. Can you imagine in a world where you didn't have any zombie movies, no shows, and you have to leave this barbershop because what's clearly just a mob. It's not zombies. It's like people taking advantage of the fact that there's a mob. They're breaking next door and set fire. You have to leave. Travis steps out, gets his family out. They start moving, and you look down in the street, and there's one cop eating the neck of another cop. Like, what would you even think if you were in that?
I thought about this last night, and if I was out in the middle of it, you see a bunch of rioters. Here and there's cops shooting at people that ain't falling to the ground.
Right.
The first thing I'm going to think is, quit looting.
Get the fuck out.
Go. Just get the fuck away, because something's wrong if they're not going to drop from a couple bullets to the chest.
Yeah, and so this is what I was thinking about yesterday while I was watching it is there's got to be some part of that just the rioters think the police are just killing people. And I know that was the storyline in episode 2, was they were trying to get in between because they're like, why are you shooting these people? There's no reason. So I think the rioters there are really just like, cops are out of control, let's riot. Kind of what they did in Baltimore.
Yeah, it's playing on today's issues, which is, it's probably going to help the show a point.
I think so. But, so we see the rioters, we see them running. Did you think that the Salazars were going to stay with our crew?
I think they'll still end up with the crew.
Well, so now, I mean, not to skip too close to the end, but we know that they all are going to stay there together. They all got kind of trapped together.
Yeah.
But I didn't think, when he said, you know, you go your way, we go ours, I thought for sure they were going to split up. But then stuff happened, obviously, that they couldn't
I think the daughter is going to be the deciding factor.
Yeah.
Of their group.
But she really wants to stay with them.
Because now she's reminded me of the bias in a sense.
Yeah.
Groups are better. She knows that because she's seen what happened.
She's not reminding me of Tobias. She's reminding me of Beth.
Beth,
the innocent. We have to stay with.
Yeah, Beth from earlier on, not so much.
Yeah,
towards the
not
end,
later.
But, but definitely in the beginning. What was with mom and daughter wanting to leave? It's the middle of the night. We just caught our neighbor eating the dog. We almost got eaten by a different neighbor. So the recipe is, let's leave in the middle of the night and go driving off into a dark city.
Because of their mentality, they wanted to get out of there and just get away from it.
They thought if they left in the middle of the night, they had a better chance of getting away. I think that's what it might have been.
But would anyone actually think that?
But as we've seen from The Walking Dead in season 5, trying to go anywhere in the middle of the night is a bad mistake.
Idea. But I mean, even it would occur to me that Travis has seen the rioters. I don't know whether he's saying let's stay here because of the zombies. I think he's saying let's stay there because he's seen the rioters. Mm-hmm. And he's like, there are people out there doing crazy shit. Let's stay here till it's daytime. And again, playing on those.
We'll get the fuck out of there.
Well, I was gonna say, playing on those popular issues. All of that violence died down during the day. It was only really at night that the riot was really going on, the afternoon into the night. So, I think that part of it is it has nothing to do with.
Because it started in the middle of the day.
Well, it started in the afternoon, like 4, and then died out at night. But then the next night there was still protests, but it was always at night. It was always like breaking the curfew and all that stuff. But I don't know where mom got this idea, like, let's leave in the middle of the night. It seems like the least safe thing you could possibly do. But
were you rooting for the dog last night?
I was.
Me too.
I was like, come on, man.
Like, I'm not a big dog fan, but I'm like, come on, let the dog make it.
Is that their dog, or was that a neighbor's dog?
It was the neighbor's dog.
Okay.
And me rooting for the dog might be because we're playing Until Dawn the last couple nights.
Mm-hmm.
He picks, one of the main characters picks up a wolf. So he's following you around through all this shit and everything.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm just like, the dog can help.
The dog could help. And so, like, I guess it makes sense that it was the neighbor's dog because he didn't want to attack him. Because, again, to the dog, it looks like you got your owner.
But the dog knew.
We was barking at him. Yeah.
But then again, what's the dog going to do? Because even if you chew his neck off,
he's going to keep biting.
Unless you destroy the brain.
Yeah. So, another thought. The gunshot in the kitchen. What was the deal with the double tap? Why was the double tap necessary?
Because it was shot across the front of his face. It didn't hit the brain.
See, now, I said that he shot across the front of the face. Somebody I talked to today said that when he's later explaining about the different kinds of shot, he was basically telling Nick, you can't use this anymore. Because that's what I shot him with the first time. You need to use the buckshot, not the bird shot.
That looked like it hit him from the side.
Sprayed across, cut all the face up.
Yeah. Sprayed across the front of the face. Because even birdshot at point blank it'll kill you.
Right.
We have an incident of that, if you remember, Greensboro several years ago. We were probably teenagers at the time, the Bischoff's house in Greensboro.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I guess, yeah, because I was thinking about whether or not birdshot.
That was a birdshot. So.
Well, and it wasn't really point blank. He was kind of across the room. He stepped up for the second shot and, like, almost pressed the gun up to his head. Yeah. So, I mean, well, let me ask, so skipping, I guess, to that part, he buries, another point where Daniel knows his shit, and he says, burn the body, don't bury it. And Travis refuses to burn it.
But I think that's just something, he figured if you burn the body, it'll kill the infection.
Right, which is what he said. Yeah.
Because at this point, they still don't know everybody has it.
Right, and we didn't learn that until the end of Season 1 in The Walking Dead.
And the rest of the crew in The Walking Dead didn't learn that until the end of Season 2.
Right. So how creepy was them sitting in the house playing Monopoly when all this shit's going on?
I was sitting there like, if I see this shit happening, I'm raiding everybody's house in this neighborhood.
Which was another thing I thought. They packed up and left, but first of all, Travis takes the trash out. There's another guy down the block
also taking their trash out. Why?
I mean, because you get into those things, I guess. It's Tuesday. What do I do Tuesday morning? I take the trash out. Zombie apocalypse or not, I'm taking out the trash.
That's people eating people's faces off. I'm stealing everything out of everybody's house that could possibly be used.
Yeah. And
I'm heading for an island that has absolutely nothing on it except animals.
So we know that the one neighbor is the lady is there, but the other neighbor is dead because he got shot by Daniel. We know the people across the street are dead. You gotta think before we leave. We wait till daybreak anyway. Let's go to some people's houses and start finding stuff that we need. But maybe they
need food for the road.
Well, and I think
you need food when you get there.
They packed up enough that I think that they thought they could go out for the wilderness. Because keep in mind too, I think Travis's mindset is we're gonna go until it blows over, and then we'll come back. And we are so used to The Walking Dead where it's we know it's not getting better. We know it's not getting better, so take everything you need. But I gotta say, and again, we are in a universe where there are zombie movies, so when that shit starts happening, we'll know what to do. They had no idea. And the idea of taking from the neighbor, because I think Mom even was trying to fight them about going to get a gun from the neighbor. Travis just basically was like, fuck this, I know there's a gun there, I'm gonna go get it, and leads the way, and they just kind of follow him.
That was Nick.
Travis
Nick wasn't there yet.
That's right, yeah. But Nick...
He showed up while they were at the neighbor's house, and then they tried to get back through that fucking maze to get to him because the zombie was in the house chewing on the fucking dog.
Right. So I guess the characters all together, Travis is starting to annoy me more and more. I'm hoping he's not going to be like...
I thought the sister was done last night.
Oh, God, I was hoping the sister was done last night. I was going to say, because Travis is annoying me with his, like, they're people too, and we don't do guns, or I don't like guns, or whatever else.
You know how I feel about guns.
But you saw a person eat the stomach out of your dog the night before, and you're like, listen.
I thought it was funny, though. He was like, you know how I feel about guns, and then the guy was like, well, guns don't feel anything about you.
Yeah. Which I think is a little commentary, too. I don't know if that's just some, like, if any of the guys are pro-gun, but it seemed like a lot of
It felt like a point towards that.
Yeah, where it's just like, listen, the gun's not gonna hurt you.
Gun can't do anything
right.
without a human person behind it deciding what to pull the trigger on.
So the daughter just it continues to annoy me, unbelievably.
It still wants to go back to the boyfriend who was bit in the second episode, who's probably a zombie now.
But I think that her fault, her being so annoying, is because Mom hasn't told her shit about what's going on.
Yes.
And what is the point? Is she 4 years old? Like, why are we not telling...
She's actually older than Nick.
Yeah. So why are we not telling her what's going on? I mean, because you have kids. Would you tell them?
She can teach a class, but yet she can't comprehend zombies.
She's less mentally capable of handling the apocalypse than the drug-addicted son.
Right. I don't... When Nick says, you know, she's dead, makes it clear that she's dead. Mm-hmm. Mom looks at him like,
yeah.
She doesn't know anything about it. I'm like, fucking tell her. Why would you not tell her? And because you know what? She'll stop wanting to go to the boyfriend. She'll realize that's over. That she would have expected. Were there pills on the table? Is that what she went back to get? More pills?
No, she went back to get the shotgun shells, but when she looked up, the pills on the table were empty.
Right.
So I'm thinking he took pills from that house, and that's why he dropped the shotgun shells.
Well, my thought was...
And when she looked up at the pills, that's when she looked down the hallway and saw the feet.
I thought that maybe the neighbor killed herself. That's why I thought the pill bottle was empty.
Why would she kill herself, though?
Well, why would she die? Why would she be dead otherwise?
Because the one guy was going around biting everybody.
Yeah, we had neighbors that had already been bitten.
True.
And came home.
But she seemed to be in the house. She seemed to be locked in the house until they came in.
But she could have got bit and then went in the house. Because as we've seen, she had that maze of a garden.
We're never going to know.
But I think that's a good point, though, that if Nick saw pills on it anywhere, he would have been like, fuck the shells, got the pills, let's get the fuck out of here and forget about him. Well, that's what happens when you have a drug addict around you. Like, that's all he's thinking about is... And, you know, that means he's getting pills from Mom, but he's also got his own stash of pills, so...
We won't know till later on until we see whether or not he's taking in extra pills and what he's getting.
Right, and I guess that'll be it, right? In a couple episodes, we'll see that, like, he gets 2 from Mom and then, like... pops out 2 more.
And I think,
which he's not going to pop them in his mouth. He's going to snort them.
Yeah. I think because this takes place right before season 1 started of Walking Dead.
Yeah,
we're going to see the blue pills pop up again from Breaking Bad.
And the question is, how much of that are they going to do? I thought that we saw the meth pipe in episode 1.
Where did Breaking Bad take place?
New Mexico.
How far away from LA is that?
Not very far. It's like a 3 or 4 hour drive.
There's a good chance that we could possibly see, even though the show's over with, some kind of crossover, somebody that was in the show up.
I would love to
and like a flashback giving Nick pills at some point.
Now, did you see the airplane wobbling?
Yep.
I had 2 things about that.
I was waiting. I was just waiting for it to...
So, I know that they did a webisode that was Zombie on a Plane. So, and I don't know if that's out or not, but it's coming if it's not out. But
maybe that's what it pertained to?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think that was our, like, now we're going to release a webisode about the zombie that got loose on the plane and the plane crashes.
Because I think, before you go any further, that webisode with the zombie on the plane, it's supposed to be somebody that we've seen
from
The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That was going that way.
Right.
And I think if we don't see him in this season of Fear the Walking Dead, we'll see him in season 2.
And then we'll see
know who they are.
Known from the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my question, though, is the first thing that always happens in emergencies is they ground all the planes. So, does that not happen? Like, I just don't get... I get why they did it, because they want to do a webisode of a
maybe it was already in the air?
I guess it could be, and that would explain why that person would then
We've got LAX right there. It wouldn't be already in the air.
Well, no, but if he was coming
towards LAX.
If it was coming from the East Coast and it has somebody from The Walking Dead on it, it would make sense that the first thing they would do is try to get back east. So I guess it would make sense as far as that's concerned, that's why they're on the plane. And I just think it was an excuse. Snakes on a Plane was done because people wanted to see snakes on a plane. I feel like this is everybody wants to know what it's like when a zombie turns on a plane, and this is their way of doing it.
I'd be no good if we tuned into that webisode and Samuel L. Jackson's on it. Especially since I made that
Get
comment.
Get these motherfucking zombies off this motherfucking plane.
As soon as they said something about it, that's what I said because we did that on your podcast. I had Corey do his Samuel L. Jackson podcast as impersonation.
So, I guess getting close here. What do we think about the military at the end?
National Guard coming in?
Yeah.
Makes complete sense.
Well, and here's a question. Where were they? Alright, so we see see them making a turn out of the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Mom sees the neighbor come home. We don't see any military trucks.
And going based off the way the episodes are going, it's probably day 2, maybe day 3 of everything going to shit.
Yeah.
National Guard comes in.
But where did they
Don't you think the National Guard would have been in Washington before LA, though?
Well, and we don't know that they weren't.
Unless it started out in LA and just spread across the country.
I think what they're saying is that it did start in LA, and the webisode with the zombie on the plane is saying this is how
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on, wait a minute. Wasn't it the whole bath salt? Didn't the whole bath salts incident happen in LA?
Miami.
Damn. Damn.
But I think what they're trying to show is that it started in LA. The webisode with the plane says that this is how it spread elsewhere. I mean, listen, that's how disease spreads now. You get on a plane with Ebola and you show up in New York, and now they have to worry about everybody in New York getting infected. So, but I mean, I think the mom acted like she hadn't seen the soldiers before. So sometime in that 15 seconds it took her to walk in the backyard, soldiers show up, come in the other side, shoot the woman in the head. I know why we're doing it, but it feels like it's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
They just seem to show up right in the nick of time.
And then we're sitting there last night. She's got the ball peen hammer sitting in her hand, and we're watching it. And she's staring at her neighbor, and I'm just like, accept it. Hit her in the fucking head. Get it over with. This is the world you're gonna have to deal with for the
The soldiers seemed kind of dickish to me too.
I
guess because they've been dealing with so many.
Well, no, they haven't. Remember, it's day 2, so they're just going through. By the way, they got there a lot quicker than they got to Katrina in New Orleans. What the hell was that? Like, they're day 2, they're there.
Major city.
Well,
major city.
Well, that's true. And did you see him doing the Katrina X on the wall too?
She was asking what that stuff was about.
Yeah, because they were painting their house gray. But on the other house, it was an X, and then they had wrote something.
Okay,
by
so
the X.
I was telling her that one meant it was clear, the other meant it wasn't clear.
No. One meant that there were people there, and the building was not in jeopardy.
Although the one with the X that they were writing looked like they were writing contaminated.
No. So what they do is it's what the National Guard does when they do search and rescue. You make a big X. On the left side of the X, you write what unit you're in. The top of the X is what date it is. Bottom of the X in the real world is live people found, dead people found. So they would put like 2-2, and that means 2 live people, 2 bodies.
And I can only assume that's what they would do here because they're trying to make it all realistic because it's Robert Cookman. So.
And so what they're doing is, I think they're doing the same thing. Now the reason that they painted their house a different color, I think, is because they're saying the people are staying here. So when you come past and you see...
No, they weren't given a choice. They told them they had to stay there.
Right. But I mean, if a unit was driving past later and saw heads in the window, you don't want them like, pop, 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 to shoot them through the window.
Right.
So the separate symbol means there are people here, they're alive, leave them alone.
Okay, if that's the case, then how come in The Walking Dead we never saw any X's on any of the houses that they passed when they went through there?
We did see a couple.
I don't remember
when they were
season 1.
No, not season 1, because in season 1 it was Atlanta, and you got to figure at that point everything's lost, the whole city's lost, so they pull out.
Was the flashback in season 4 when Rick and Morgan were together?
There was one in Morgan's neighborhood. I think it was the flashback, not in the first season we saw Morgan, but later on. But
season 4, they when Rick and Morgan met up, they did a flashback into. Right before they met, everything was going to shit.
And season 5, when they're passing through some of those small towns, you can see X's on and they can't read what it says, but you see the X's on some of the buildings as they go through.
Because by season 5, it's already been at least 2 years. So.
Right. So I mean, but in the end, that meant that somebody searched at some point, and so the question is, Travis thinks that the National Guard showing up is like the cavalry coming, and Daniel is clearly like, fuck no, this is not a good thing. They stayed
I
in the house.
also liked the comment he made. She said, but they're good people, and he said good people are the first ones to die.
That's when he's saying he doesn't want to stick with Travis and them because they're too fucking nice. He saw them let the
because if
neighbor
you think
live.
about it, technically in a world like that, good people are always trying to help each other.
Yeah.
And come to find out, you helped the wrong person that's been bit, and then next thing you know, your whole family's dead.
Right.
But Rick's group got it right. Took them 4 seasons, but they got
They're
it right.
starting to get that, like, it's always us versus them, but the us can change.
They're going to help you, but the first second they feel that struggle, they ain't got a problem with putting a bullet in your head.
I was waiting for him to say, ask the questions.
Yeah.
But so, do you think that the National Guard coming is a good thing or a bad thing? Because here's what we know: they shot the one zombie. That's great. But when the neighbor got blood on him, they disappeared him somewhere. Now we see him putting the woman's body up on the truck.
Oh, you don't watch the reviews.
No, I don't watch
or the next.
What's happening?
Next time on The Walking Dead.
No, yeah, I don't.
Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, so my guess is that because they ask him, did anybody get sprayed? You see Mom lie and say no, when clearly there's a body in the back.
Yes, well, what's that? Our dog died.
Yeah.
Or the body
sorry
from
about
the
that.
school where she was up against it when Tobias was trying to stab it. So.
Right. So she's gotten blood on her. We know Travis has. Nick has. I guess the daughter's probably the only one that hasn't been exposed to anybody. But she was with the boyfriend.
They also haven't realized at this point in time it's in everybody.
Right. But I mean, so I think that there is a big concern that the military is going to start taking healthy people away. And some people were commenting and saying that they probably just shot the neighbor. That they get him out of the way where the healthy people can't see him, then they shoot him, and because he's gotten blood on him, so he's infected.
Well, if that's the case, then don't you think half the fucking military's contaminated?
No. NG5
that doesn't mean
mask,
anything.
NG5 mask.
That does not mean anything because somewhere in all their gear, there's cracks and crevices that lead to skin.
That suit that you see them wearing is a nuclear, biological, and chemical suit. And you can walk through a war zone where a nuclear weapon's going off, and you'll be safe.
But in this world, where we know because they're Walking Dead, they're already infected.
Yeah, but nobody knows that. They don't know that. But they're walking around in those suits, so that's why they're saying they think they're safe with blood.
And they're not.
And it turns out nobody's safe.
Nope.
But so it looks like the military. I tend to think that whenever they.
I think the military is just going to make it worse. Because they're going to try to force people to stay in certain places where the dead's just going to pile up and pile up and pile up, and then eventually everybody's just going to get infected.
That's probably what happened.
And that's probably because the military tried to do that. That's probably why it turned out that the whole place turned
because imagine you have all of those healthy people. Let's say the neighbor didn't get killed, that he gets taken to some sort of fenced-in area to keep him and watch him to make sure he doesn't turn. Middle of the night, somebody dies. We know it's already in everyone. They turn. Nothing. It's a smorgasbord of healthy people sleeping.
I hate to make this reference, but like a concentration camp.
It is. I mean, that's basically what. And so one thing I saw when he was driving. Did you see that the baseball stadium was lit up? Mm-hmm. There'd be no reason for the baseball stadium to be lit up unless sometimes the National Guard uses the Superdome in New Orleans was used the same way. That's where they keep people together. So I'm thinking that might be what's going on. That they ship them off to the baseball stadium, keep everybody contained. But as soon as somebody dies, natural causes or whatever, and turns, all of those people have no way to get out. They can't get in, but you also can't get out. And that's, I think, how you get some of the spreading, the big hordes, is the military doesn't help. But we're to keep in mind, 2 months later, when Rick wakes up, we don't see any military anywhere. In fact, season 5 is the first time we see anybody in fatigues, and it turns out he's not actually military. No. You know, he's just he's trying to play cowboy basically. Yeah. So
who, the redhead guy?
Yeah.
He was military.
He's ex-military.
Yeah.
But he wanted to find somebody to protect, and he started
because
protecting
that was his reason to keep him from committing suicide. Right. So, in a sense, as stupid as Eugene was, he kept him alive, kept Abraham alive, and.
But I think the other girl is a soldier too, but she wasn't an active duty soldier.
I don't think she was a soldier.
The one that he's fucking?
Yeah, I think it was a girl he met along the way, and he trained her to be like that.
Could be. But again, so that makes the point even more. There are no military people anywhere. We've seen none all through The Walking Dead. People with training, but not military units.
Because if you hear him, because it started out as him and Eugene.
Yeah.
But later on, they came into a group where it was like 5 or 6 other people. Because when Eugene finally comes clean, they're like, well, we've lost 6 or 7 people trying to protect you.
Yeah.
So that means somewhere along the way, they've met people, they've explained the situation, he's trained them how to keep Eugene safe, or picked people that he thought...
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same as the main group in The Walking Dead. Like, 3 out of 4 people have died since season 1. Like, there's just nobody left from season 1. So, that's what happens. But did you see...
Sorry.
Wait.
That Abraham knocking Eugene out just popped in my head again, so...
Okay, so Beth died.
Mm-hmm.
Was she from season 1?
Season 1 was...
Nope, season 2.
No.
Oh,
that's right, season 2.
She tried to commit
Shane
suicide
was from
season 2.
season 1.
Yeah.
Andrea was from season 1.
Yep.
Her sister.
Yep.
Carol and her daughter.
Daryl and his brother.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they were.
Daryl and Merle were in season 1.
Yeah, and
because they were both only supposed to be in 2 episodes.
Glenn.
But everybody got so attached to Daryl's character.
But episode 2...
Norman Reedus' character.
Okay, so out of season 1, we still have Carl. We still have the baby.
No,
Rick.
baby wasn't there.
Baby didn't show up until the day
Well,
of
that's
season 3.
true.
Yeah.
Well, technically, she was there since season 1 because she was fucking pregnant.
But
she just didn't know who the fuck was.
Characters we have are Rick,
Carl,
Daryl. That's it.
Carol.
Was she with the original group?
Yep.
Okay, so those 4, but there's nobody else of the original group at that time together. Doesn't Glenn show up? No, he isn't.
He's the one that saved
Rick
them
in
from the
episode 2.
tank.
Episode 1.
That's right.
And where the horse ends up getting ate and he runs them through the city.
So we have 5 people, but also keep in mind a bunch of the people we met in season 2 are gone.
Yep.
People we met in season 3 are gone.
So we're looking at season 1 and season 2 were like 15 plus deep both times around.
Yeah, and then all gone.
We got 5
What
left. What
season did Michonne come in?
The end of season 2.
What? I thought it was season 4.
She came in at the end of season 2.
Okay.
When they were coming in, the zombies...
She was with Andrea.
Yeah, she was coming in when the zombies were coming in at the end of season 2, she saved Andrea.
That's right.
And season 3 opened up with her and Andrea in some kind of building, and Andrea was sick.
That was before they got to the prison.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, they found the other group.
So who's alive out of season 2? Just Maggie?
Maggie and Michonne.
Since she was in the last 10 seconds of the episode.
So yeah, keep in mind all those people from the farm. All
altogether, out of 7 people, or out of that whole amount, 7 people are still alive from the first 2 seasons.
So and
we're looking at like 30-some cast characters that have been killed off in 6 seasons.
I'm
talking about the main characters, though.
No, but you had between 30 and 40 people between season 1 and 2, and we have 7 who have survived this long. So I mean, that's just what happens. And so I mean, yeah. So the groups are.
Well, no offense. In season 1, I don't really count any of them as main characters unless they last to season 2.
I think if the writers intend them to be major characters, then I think that's how.
Some of the people that were in the first season and the second season.
Like the woman that gets ate by the zombie over in that little mud bank. You remember that? In the first season?
No.
No. You don't remember that?
No.
Her child's over there playing in the mud, and then the zombie comes out and the
runs over
there. He was underneath the board.
Right. But well, maybe she's not a major character, but I mean, it's still the group was about 15 to 20 strong. Then season 2, it's 15 to 20 strong.
But they've always got to have those side characters in there somewhere that you see, but they don't really acknowledge them.
But this is also a thing where.
But now it's to the point where it's survival, so they acknowledge all the people that are there.
This is also where you see where they changed up from the comics, because in the comics, Andrea is still alive when they get to Virginia.
Right. Michonne was supposed to be the right.
And now that I remember his name, Dale.
Dale
was fucking Andrea when they got to Virginia.
Right.
So.
And now they're both gone.
And the sister, because the sister he was sleeping in the RV with getting it on with both of them. So props to him in the comic.
Now that we've seen our first struggle, our first hand-to-hand really, where they got not really that, but they got a good look at the zombie. Who is, on that note, the first character to die? Now,
I still
reassess
think it might be the sister.
Okay.
Especially after last night.
She made some dumb decisions.
I don't think I would have went back for the shotgun shells by myself, knowing how crazy shit is.
I think as close as she got, that's as close as she gets all season.
You think that's...
Yeah, I think that was her scare, and now they're going to have to tell her what's going on. So...
It's something... Alright, then. If we're not
But
going...
you can still think it's a sister.
I think it's going to be a toss-up between her and the Spanish family mother. Because she hurt her ankle... She's going to be the handicap for the rest of the season.
That was my guess, is that she becomes the dead weight, and Daniel,
she's going to fall at some point or another.
And they're going to have to leave her.
And they're going to grab, no, that's not even going to, they're going to try to grab her, but a zombie's going to pop out of nowhere and just push the ankle or some stupid shit.
Yeah.
And that's going to be that.
Well, and I think that just on that note, I didn't know what Travis's wife was going to play, and then all of a sudden she's a nurse.
The ex-wife?
The ex-wife, yeah. Like, I was just like, what role is she going to play in this? And then, there she is. She's a nurse, so she can take care of her.
Oh, I like that comment he made about having two wives in the house. Karina's like, what the fuck's that supposed to mean? I was like, because it'd be a bitch to have two women in the house that you were married to at some point or another.
I wasn't thinking of it that way. I was thinking, technically, there's 3 wives in the house.
Right, no, but... He got bitched at by his current wife,
and
goes to the kitchen, got bitched at by the ex-wife, and then goes back in to talk to his wife.
He couldn't go anywhere without getting bitched at, and that would suck.
Yeah. So, how about you, Karina? Who's the first character that's going to die?
Most likely the Spanish woman.
Because she's injured?
But at the same time, I'm hoping Nick.
Me too.
Still hoping for Nick.
As much as I would like to see Nick gone, like I've been saying since season 1, I think he's going to end up being the front runner.
And see, I think that Daniel has now become the guy that I think is going to be the Rick. He's going to be the leader. Once Travis realizes that, like, he knows how to live in the world, and I think we're going to find a backstory for him.
But that doesn't mean that Nick won't be a front runner.
No, I mean, I'm sure he'll be a major character.
Because if you look at the way that the nurse, the mother of Chris, looks at him, looks at Nick, she's disgusted by him.
Yeah.
Because she knows.
Yep.
She knows exactly what the issue is.
When I said one thing that's going to come up with Nick is he's starting to look like a walker.
Oh, wait a minute.
And I'm still waiting.
Can we talk about the comment that the white woman made to the Spanish woman?
No. What comment?
When
Go ahead.
When they're in the laundry room looking outside at Susan, she said, "Can I ask you a favor?" She said, "I need you to do something for me.
Yeah.
If I ever turn out like that, I want you to kill me, because it would kill Travis if he had to do it. It would break him."
And I think that.
And I think that was a dig at her.
Right. Well, maybe.
If you're a woman, that was a dig at her.
I was gonna say I'm not. So
it would break him if I died.
I thought it was more of Travis is weak and he's not going to be able to do it. Because that's part of it too. We've seen
that might be part of
it,
but I also think, because if you hear it throughout the whole episode, well, why can't we leave without Travis? Take our family now and go. And then the son is like, well, why can't we leave? Just our family.
Yeah.
So I think, and she was like, look, I know you don't like me. I know we're not friends, and you break my fucking laptop, I'm gonna break your ass.
Laptop.
And she was like, well, if that happens to me, it'll break him.
Maybe it was a dig. You're women, so you can tell me.
I'm a woman. I think it was.
You wouldn't know how I looked at it, and you might have thought of it the same way.
Yeah.
We're all in the zombie apocalypse right now, okay? For some reason, our exes all show up, and they all end up in the same group. I wouldn't want her to be the one that had to end it for me.
Let me tell you something. If it's the end of the world and all your exes show up in the same group, I'm killing them even before they fucking zombies. So.
Well, now I said
okay, then Rob, if I turn into a zombie, you kill me. If you turn into a zombie, I'll kill you.
Fair enough. I think, and I mean, I didn't get the whole thing, but maybe I'm not a woman.
I don't think you could handle it.
Yeah.
To a degree.
I think she was saying, or I got from that she was saying Travis is too weak. He wouldn't be able to do it. Not that he would kill him, but just
he might be able to do it at some point.
Yeah.
Right now, he reminds me of Tyrese.
Okay, where he's like gentle giant and just waiting for it to happen.
Tyrese, basically.
So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Episode 4 is coming up
3
next
more
week.
episodes
Yeah.
for the season.
4
I don't
weeks in
know.
a row.
I felt like she was being a white bitch, like, huh, I got him and you don't.
That wasn't what I took from it, but that's
Well,
okay.
I think that dynamic of them splitting apart over Travis is why Travis won't be the Rick. It'll be Daniel who's like, cut the shit. We need to do this to survive.
I think the fact that those
run.
two women could even sit in the same room together, then knew there was something even bigger at hand.
Yeah, well, and I think the Spanish woman is
They were
smart
in the
enough to
room
know.
with each other for all of 5 minutes because right after she made the dig, she walked out.
Well, I mean...
And the Spanish woman is sitting there with tears in her eyes like...
You hear what you gotta hear, and then you walk away. What the fuck else is there when zombies are killing everybody?
I think that's going to be a big factor of them two kind of getting at each other, and Travis being stuck with the, like, I can't choose sides on this.
That and the daughter and his son. They're going to be the ones going back and forth.
Yeah.
Because she hit him in the nose when he was trying to save her from the fucking zombie.
But the other thing to think is that
Bitch.
he has seen the zombies now on the street. She still has seen nothing really.
Okay, but once he pulled her over, she told him to get the fuck off of her. She didn't realize that he was trying to help her.
I think that they're going to hook up. I think those two
Maybe.
are going to hook up.
I think...
Because she looked at him like he was crazy.
Right.
Because she still didn't really know what was going the fuck on, even though this woman was trying to bite her.
Right. But he saved her, and then next episode, I guarantee you there will be a...
They'll be holding hands.
Sorry that I hit you in the face. I just, was worked up. And then by the end of the season, romance. Guaranteed that those two. And they're not related.
Yeah, they're not, but their parents are shacking up. Like, ew.
Maybe Travis will get both of his wives back. Who knows?
That's a thought.
That's fucking disgusting.
Alright, so on that note, you'll have to tune in next week. We're going to, for the episode 4 review, again, we got the next 4 weeks in a row where we'll be doing reviews. Well, this plus 3 more weeks of reviews.
Alright.
And it'll be, I think it's 3 consecutive.
Yes.
So,
the rest
straight
of the
through the
season is
walk.
consecutive. Later this week, stay tuned for the live stream. We're going to do updates on the DDP yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Probably talk some other random stuff. So,
And then this week's episode is Wally
yes,
from Abstract, so make sure you tune in for that.
That's going to be a great episode.
So make sure you check out DirtyShoreUnderground.com, Dirty Shore UG on Twitter and Facebook. Check out OTheAnthem.com. New episodes every Tuesday, so look for that today as well.
And YouTube.com/C/Dirty Shore UG hyphen
OTA.
Yes.
There you go.
See, I will get this down eventually.
And you can find me on all your social networks at Robert N. Cheek. Check out robertncheek.com for all of my books and the other websites and everything that I got going on.
Buy his books. He needs money.
Buy my books. I need money.
When the fuck are you getting the damn books?
When are you going to buy one? How about that?
I told you I'd buy one when you go to hand it to me.
She wants a physical copy.
Well, you can order a physical copy on Amazon. You can print on demand on Amazon.
You know what it is? She wants to read it before she buys the actual one, so she ain't.
No, I told you. If you, well, I'm not gonna say it.
Go ahead, say it. I can cut this out.
No,
I can cut this out of the video and everything, so I'm going to set this to private as soon as we go off air and chop out the beginning.
He already knows what I'm talking about.
So, where can people find you online?
You already told him.
No, that's Dirty Shore. Where can they find you?
Oh, just me?
Yeah.
I think it's Facebook.com/Juggalo Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
I spend more time on the Dirty Shore page now.
That's true. So maybe just Dirty Shore is the place to find you.
Get me on there. We can get up if you got music.
You are Facebook.com/Twisted Kenny.
Twisted Kenny.
Is it?
There you go.
Damn.
Cool. And K-Diddy08 on...
Nope, changed.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Remember, we were talking about that yesterday because we had Corey in on the conversation.
Yeah. All right, so
and then Facebook.com/Dirty Shore UG.
Yeah. So make sure you check out DirtyShoreUnderground.com, Dirty Shore UG on Twitter and Facebook, and
The Anthem, Corey Baker.
Everybody, you can find all our stuff at OTheAnthem.com. Before we get out of here, did you want to play a song?
Yes. Because we haven't done a song in a couple weeks now, and I'm now working on getting a guy named Kasky to do a call-in interview with us. He's out of Florida. He's with Birdman's record label.
He's with whose label?
Birdman.
Cash
Lil
Money
Wayne.
Records. Cash Money Records.
You can do that, but he's nothing like them. You've heard his music.
Just because I've heard it doesn't mean I've listened.
It's actually good music and it's deep. So,
I used to like Lil Wayne and all them too, so they became too mainstream.
when weren't they mainstream?
So
Another episode for another time. But anyway,
So in the outro tip, we have a song from
Kasky.
Kasky.
The song's name called Words. Check it out, and we'll see you in a couple days for another episode.
Tune in Thursday.
Yes.
Have a good week,
Wally,
everybody.
take it easy.
Who's trying to fight somebody? Damn.
Fuck you, Rob. Fuck you.
Fuck your couch.
So good.
No, I could do that from the options button.
Don't bother me none.
Ha ha ha.